Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Carried Away. We're actually not going to be playing Carried Away initially, so in an unusual setup for James Sinclair's Artisanal Sudoku series, you know, those weekly puzzles that come out every now and again, every week, every Tuesday in email format. As you've seen in the past, I normally play a couple of puzzles. But recently, for some reason, the first puzzlers, I've been finding it so difficult that it ends up being more than 10 minutes, and I think that's enough for a video. So what I'm trying to do this time is instead, I'm actually going to start with a harder puzzle and then work towards the easier puzzle. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. So we're not actually starting with Carried Away. We're going to start with One Fog 9, the alternative version, so the simpler version of the two. It just looked the more intriguing of the other options because it uses indexing, which I admit I'm not very good at. But at least you'll be watching me struggle with indexing as opposed to watching me struggle with, Sudoku scanning. You can obviously understand the thumbnail here, Carried Away, very much inspired by the movie Up, where Sleuth here is being whisked away by a bunch of balloons lifting him. Just Sleuth, not a house though. Anyway, let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule set, and hopefully we'll do so well we'll be able to actually get to Carried Away as well. First one is One Fog 9. This is the alternative version, so there's slightly more clues to actually help us with a speedier solve. Rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and then of course every 3x3 box. Then we have dynamic fog. So correctly placed digits clear the fog from that cell and possibly from other cells. In some cases, the fog will clear from a cell with an indexing relationship with that digit that was just entered. Oh my. Right, that's a lot of words. So if you imagine that this cell here is a 2, if it is a 2, it will definitely clear itself. Secondly, that was actually a bad example. Let's say this one is a 1. So it will definitely clear itself, although it's already cleared. We'll keep going. It may clear some of the neighbors. We don't know. But it will also clear potentially where the index cell is. So we'll get onto indexing in a second, but that may actually be very helpful because, like I said, normally I struggle with indexing because it's essentially another form of scanning, but it's just not as intuitive. And if it's actually going to clear the index cell, it's going to almost be like a prompt and a reminder to look at the index. Speaking of indexing, digits in columns 1, 5, and 9 indicate the column in which the digit, 1, 5, or 9 respectively, appear in that row. For example, if this cell is a 2, notice this is in column 1. What it's saying is 1 in that row is in the second column. Of course, you could have 1 in the column and it's essentially indexing itself. Now, this is true for column 1, column 5, and column 9. For example, if this cell says it's 7, it's saying that the index, as in the column for 9 in that row, row 5, is in the 7th column. So this would have to be a 9. Right. Then we have German whispers. So along green lines, digits differ from their neighbor by at least 5. So if this cell is a 2, for example, this neighbor would have to be 7, 8, or 9 to be 5 or more away. Admittedly, with that fog, you can see that this would have to be also 7, 8, or 9 over here. If this cell was an 8, for example, this cell would have to be 1 or 3 for it to be 5 or more away. And then we end up oscillating between high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9, low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, and back and forth we go. What else do we know? Digits separated by an X must sum up to 10. White dots, black dots. Interesting. So the X, at least helpfully, I can actually draw one in. If these two cells were separated by an X, and there's clearly some behind this fog, what it's telling is that these two cells have to sum up to 10. So if this is 1 or 3, this would have to be 7 or 9 to make sure that these two cells add up to 10. White dots, if you imagine that these cells, this is not a black dot, it's a white dot. Cells are essentially separated by a white dot are consecutive, so that 2 would have to be 1 or 3 for it to be consecutive. If it is a black dot, as is the case here, they have to be in a 2-to-1 ratio. So one cell is double the other. This would have to be 1 or 4. There's no mention of negative constraints, so I'm kind of assuming it doesn't apply. And that's all the rules we have for today. I say for today, if it's a quick solve, like I said, we will get onto the second one. Anyway, as always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. And you can immediately see box 4, German whisper lines. German whisper lines. Where's the 5 in box 4? It can only be in here. Remember, this is an index. If this is 5, this is telling you that the 5 is indexed in column 5, and that is absolutely fine because essentially that 1 is essentially positioned in column 5. Hopefully that kind of made sense. This cell here, for it to be consecutive, well, this has to be 4, 6. This cell, for it to add up to 10, this would have to be 4 or 6. This is kind of the giveaway for this black Kropke dot. For it to be 4, this would have to be 9, to be 5 or more away. 6 would require a 1. Clearly, a 9 on a black Kropke dot digit is a problem because half of 9 is 4.5, double of 9 is 18. That is not going to work. So this is 1. This is going to be 6. This is going to be 4. 1 in here would require 2, and the indexing continues to work. This cell would have to be 7, 8, or 9, all of which is allowed. So is, in fact, actually, this is the 9 next to the 4. It shows me my index. So the 9 is in column 3, so that would be 3. This would have to be 6 for the black Kropke dot to work. This is 5 or 7. This is clearly not 9. This is my other 7, 8, and this has to be 3 based on the German whisper lines. Oh, in fact, this has to be 8, of course, because that's telling me where things are. 7, showing me where the index of the 1 is. That's 1. That's 9, because you can see in the fog that this X is here. This has to be 2. And this is 4, 5. Well, the 4 has to be in here. 5, again, is another non-black Kropke dot digit, and this is 5. This is indexing fine. This is indexing fine. All is good. This is 2 or 8. It's not 2. That's 8. That's telling me that the 5 is in here. The reveal is actually quite helpful again. And then we can probably do a bit of Sudoku. 6 is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is there. This would need to be 9 on the German whisper line. The 9 is indexed, so that's 7. That's actually, it's really appreciated, by the way. That tells me this is 5. That tells me this has to be 9. Again, the index of 5 and the 9. This would have to be, well, it could be anything really. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not very useful pencil mark. I'm going to ignore it. 6, 7 pair in here. 2, 3 pair in here. And 8 over there. This cell is a low digit that is not 2. It's 1, 3, or 4. This cell has to be 3, 6. It's not 1, 2, 4, 8. I obviously included the 2 because the neighbors, 1 and 4, are not available. So this is 3, 6. That tells me these are 1, 2, 4s. Actually, 6 in here is tricky. Because remember, this cell is indexing 5. And that's saying if this is 6, that 5 is in here, which is impossible. This is 3. This is 6. That tells me this is the 5. That tells me this is the 5. This would have to be 4 or 6 for, well, 6 for it to be consecutive. I got it the wrong way around. I'm so sorry. 3 is pointing that this is the 5, excuse me, and this is the 4 or 6, but it's not 6, it's 4. And therefore this is 9, which is telling me the index of 9 here is 2. I don't know why it revealed this one. That's very strange, but okay. This is 1 or 4. For it to be in a 2-to-1 ratio, that 2 is a 9. 9s are sorted. 9 is in one of these 2 cells. If it's in here, this would be 8. Otherwise, it's 9. So, like, I'm not going to pencil mark the 8, but I will pencil mark, going to pencil mark the 9s. What else do I know? I'm kind of being I mean, the fact that this was revealed by that 9 is sort of pushing us to think about this X and this green German whisper digit. So, we need 2 digits that add up to 10. Actually, hang on. 2 in here and 4 tells me this is 1 or 3. 1 is fine. 3 would be pointing to a 1 in here. So 1 is one of these two cells. This is definitely now a 4. This is not a 4. And that's kind of the end of the run. But the 4 is helpful, isn't it? Yeah, because there's no 4 in here. There's no 1 or 2 in here. I already knew that. Why am I just repeating myself? So this is 7 or 8. And then these are 4, 7, or 8. 4, not 5. If this is 4, this would be 6, looks achievable. If this is 7, this would be 3, looks achievable. If this is 8, this would be 2. Still looks achievable. Actually, no, it's not achievable. That's a 2. 2 and 8 are off. 3 in here would require 8 or 9. It can't be 9. It can't be 8. It's not 3. That's 6. That's 1. That is 4. That's not 4. 1 is in the 8th column, so that is 8. That gives me 7. That gives me 8. You always sort of need to just double check 1, 5, 9 if they're all good. 1 and 2 in here tells me, I knew that already, didn't I? This cell is indexing one of these cells, and it can't be column 4, it's got to be column 6. So that's 6, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 2. You see what I mean about double checking your indexing. 3 is up here, so that can't be 3, that's 1. These two cells are 2 and 3, in fact, and that is the 2, the 3, and this cell is the 7. This cell is also, I was going to say no and 6, it's not 6, it's 3. And then these 3 cells are 7, 9, 7, 8, 9. Not 9, not 8, not 7. And indexing is not helping me here. That 1 gives me a 3 up there. This is a German whisper cell. That is a high digit. That is not 6 or 7. It's too close. 8 and 9 both work. Actually, does 8? No, 8 doesn't, because that would mean that cell is a 9, and it's not. That's 9. That's 8. That's 9. That's 7. Right, these two cells are known. They are 1, 4. Which means there is a 9 in one of these two cells and a 9 in one of these two cells, you know. But the fact that it's revealed here is probably pointing me more in this direction. Column 5, where's the 5? It can't be on the German whisper line, so that's the 5. This is a 2-7 pair. The 7, because it needs a neighbor of 1 or 2, well, the 1 would have to be in here. And then the 2 would need a neighbor that is 7, 8, or 9. Well, 7 and 8 are not available, so it's a 1-9 pair. In fact, 7 is not available. That is 6. That is 7. This cell is now known. It is 4. We could do more indexing in the sense that there's definitely a 3 in here. In fact, that 9 tells me that can't be 9. That's 1. That's 9. That's got to be 4 to index the 1. That 9 tells me that's the 4. That's the 1. That 1 tells me that's the 9. The 2 and 7, actually we can use that as well. If this is, more important, if this is 7, oh, never mind. The point, for some reason I thought this was column 7 and it isn't. You know, 5s are essentially here. 9s and 1s, 9s and 1, they're all sorted. So really is just a 5 in terms of indexing and we're done. Right, 3 in here tells me this is a 1. 1 is basically done at this stage, so what I'm left with is 6 and 8. In here I have 2, 5, 7. This is clearly not 5. I feel like I'm messing this up now. Yeah, German whisper line, that's 7, that's 2. Come on, Sleuth. This is therefore 5. This is not 5. This is 5. That 7 gave me 2, which has given me 7. This is another 6 or 8, unresolved. And then I have another 6, 8, and a 3. The 3 can only be in here. This is 6 or 8. And it's still unresolved, never mind. These two cells, there is a 6 and something else, 7. That's 7, that's 6, that's 8, that's 6, that's 8, that's 6, 2, and if I've not made any mistakes, 8 for the finish. Lovely puzzle, under 10 minutes means we keep going. So let's take a look at the second puzzle today with Carried Away, which is essentially what we had in store. So normal Sudoku, we know that cages, the sum of the digits inside each cage is equal to a small number in the top left. These 3 cells add up to 21, these 3 cells add up to 9, etc., etc. And thermometers, digits increase from the thermometer from the bulb end. So this could be, for example, 2. If this is 2, this would have to be 3 or higher. Doesn't have to be regular steps, so a step of 1, a step of 2. Whatever I cannot do at any point is decrease anywhere along the bulb end. That 4 has broken the rule. So you know what to do, link in the description as well. And let me restart the clock, see how I get on. So 17 and 16 don't feel very useful, if I'm honest. 9 and 21 feel a bit more useful. 3 cells that add up to 9. 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, and 2, 3, 4. We know that it's increasing. And in fact, I know that there is no 1 on these 2 cells. The minimum this can be is 2. The minimum this can be is 3. The maximum this can be is 6 with 7, 8, 9. Surprisingly feasible. That's a lot of degrees of freedom. Hang on. What did I just do? 1, 3, 5. The maximum in here is 3, isn't it? Yeah, 1, 3, 5, and 2, 3, 4. You take the middle digit of these, and therefore this is a 3 maximum. 2 minimum, and this is 1 or 2. Okay. Up here, well, if this is 1, 2, that's 6. If this is 2, 3, that's 4. And I can do 1, 3, and 5. I don't... oh, hang on. I'm adding these. Come on, sleuth. That's not what I should be doing. So presumably, nothing stops me from having 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6, 2, 1. Yeah, achievable. Bit of a shame. That is a lot of digits to pencil marks. I'm not sometimes, if I'm honest, a big fan of thermometers because of the amount of pencil marking that you end up doing. Right, there's clearly an interaction between the 9 cage and the 21 through these thermometers, so I'm just going to try this one next. So, same idea, what are the 3 options for 21 in 3 cells? So it's essentially like the inverse of 9. So there's an option with, there are 2 options that include 9. So 9 with 2 digits that add up to 11. 2, 9 is out, 3, 8, 4, 7, 9. And then the other option that doesn't include 9 is 6, 7, 8. This is quite interesting, actually. I can immediately see that in 21, I probably should have started there, that 9 is not allowed anywhere. Which cell can have a 9? Fairly straightforward question, isn't it? Because the thermometers are more than 1 cell long. So 389 and 479 are all out. It is 678. Which cell can be the 8? It's this cell. This is 7. This is 8. This is 9. We have our bacon, and this is 9. And this is my 6, which gives me 7, 8, and 9. Which means this is not 7, 8, or 9 because this cell can see all of them. So this is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that forces a 4 in here inside the 9 cage. Lovely break-in, Mr. Sinclair. Can I repeat a similar thing in here? Not really. Actually, kind of. Let's do Sudoku first. 9 in box 1. Well, it can't be on the thermometers. That's 9. Interestingly, 17 cage is actually just generally quite interesting because now that 9 is here, the maximum is 8 and 7. This cell, although it can be 9, this can't be 8. So this is 7, this is 6, this is a maximum of 5. And because 9 and 8 are here, this is 7, this is a maximum of 6. 5, 6, 7 is 18. So I only have 1 degree of freedom, which is incredible. And the 1 degree of freedom, given somehow I can't have an 8 or a 9, tells me this would have to be the 4, and then these 2 extreme digits are essentially forced. Am I right in this? Like, I am going to go for it, but I just want to be 100% certain. Yeah, so this can't be 9, so it's 8, 7 maximum, excuse me. 9, maximum 7, maximum 6, 5, yep. 9, 8, 7, 6, yep. 18, 1 degree of freedom, can only decrease this digit. 4, 6, 7, 7, 8. And sorry, I'm deleting these just so that I can actually pencil mark them and make sure that I haven't missed anything. That can't be 7, so that has to be 6. That is 5. 7, 8, or 9, I meant to say, and it's not 7 or 8, so that is definitely 9. Right, 17 done. I'm half tempted to see if the same is true for the 16. So like 9, again, this can only be 7 because of that 8, 6, 5, 4. So this is even smaller. Again, no 9. So this is 8 and 7 in here. And this cell is a 9, just Sudoku says, whereas 9 in box 5 can't be on the thermometer halfway up. That's 9. This is 8, 7, 6. Now that is adding up to 17. So once again, there's 1 degree of freedom, which means I can only decrease the 4 and the rest is forced. If I can actually do simple Sudoku, it was all forced. That was 5. This is 6 or 7. This is 7 or 8. And then the rest is forced. 7, 4, 5, 6, 7. And yeah, it can't be 9. It's 8 actually. And then these, I think that's it for now, isn't it? Can do a bit of Sudoku. That's 9. Where is 9 in here? It's one of these two cells. It's there. It's not there. It's here. And I think, yeah, if I can type, I think I have 9 9s. Looks good to me. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to ignore the 1, 2, 3s for the moment because I don't seem to know a huge amount about it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, and 2 is done with these. This is 2. This is 1, 3. 1 is not there. 1 is not here. 1 is in one of these two cells. You know how I said I'm ignoring the 1, 2, 3, 4 because I don't know that much about them and then immediately focused on it. Yeah, I'm going to move on. Look at 8s. 8 in box 6 is forced. In box 9 is forced. How? Yeah, that is forced. I think that's 9 8s. Yeah, 7s. 7. 7. That told me a lot a while ago. If I saw it, that's not 7. That is 7. That gives me 1 in here. I think we're done with 7s as well. 6s. I think that is 9 6s. Yeah. 2 and 3 unresolved. 4, 3, 2, 3. 1 and 2 unresolved. 2 and 5 unresolved. I mean, this is like getting very tricky in here. So this is 1, 2, 3. So that has to be 3, 2, 2, 1. That is forced. That 1 gave me 3 and 1. These two cells are 4 and 3, unresolved. 2, 5, that's 1. These 3 cells, they are 3, 4, 5, 5 and 4. That looks like a 1. I know what this cell is. 5. And then 2 and 4. Resolve 4 and 2, 1 and 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 2, 1, 4, 2, 5, and if I've not made any mistakes, 3 for the finish. Two lovely puzzles, Mr. Sinclair. Kind of the right difficulty rating once again for the series. Well, to be fair, the rest of them have been kind of me messing up scanning. Hope you guys enjoyed the puzzles and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.